Greetings everybody, and as per usual, welcome to a 20 to 30 and perhaps even 40 minute speak of which I rant about a particular vehicle in Armoured Warfare and dictate how you should use it according to my exact specifications. And as always, it is that time of the week where we review a vehicle, and this time we're going for the Tier 9 M113 Hellfire, otherwise known as the Gavin box, as essentially it is a box with two more boxes. This is a 4-box Gavin, and it is an absolutely beautiful Gavin box, and anyone who has served in the US military or has ever been near an M113 is probably gonna garrot me the next time I walk out of my house. Anyway, this is a Tier 9 vehicle on Oscar Faraday's line, the new line in fact, well, it's not there. And at the moment it sits on its own after the Griffin, but hopefully that may change in the future. And what it comes with is Hellfire missiles, which are the second most powerful missiles in game after the AFT-10, individually speaking. The ones on the Cornet and the T-15 are still slightly more powerful, but the M113s have slightly higher damage, but are a little bit slower, but that does give you the ability to actually control the missiles. Aside from that, it comes with great damage and penetration, and you get 8 of them, and you have the ability to stagger fire the missiles pretty damn quickly. So if you see something, usually it's gonna die unless it's a 490. So going to the upgrade tree of the tank, you can see firsthand you have smoke grenades. The basic ones still only provide 2 volleys, and you only get 6 more. So generally speaking, I wouldn't really go for that. What you could go for is probably going to be the better missiles. Camo factor while shooting is reduced by 50% with Erin or with Rashid. That's really going to help you stealth fire people. You get jamming protection as well, which helps with the missile controllability, as it says on the screen. You also get the better Hellfire missiles as well, which is the tandem heats, which have 350 more penetration than the basic ones. This makes you go from having a 50-50 to go through the front of an M1A2C at Tier 9 to having a 100% chance to go through most Tier 10s. And good god, that is quite scary. And then lastly, you also get some thermobaric missiles as well. I haven't really used them yet, considering we're on Tier 9 and Tier 10s. Fighting Tier 10s most of the time, you're going to want to simply just blast them with the missiles. And apart from that, you also get an infrared sight, which helps with spotting for foliage and better missile control as well. These two together will give you a missile control of 20%, which is much better. And you also get an improved commander sight, which I believe improves commander sight by about 10 to 15 meters. And the improved missile launcher, and while this doesn't allow you to double tap, this does give you a quite literal stream of missiles firing at people. And then lastly, you also get the cooling system, which enemy thermal sight's effectiveness is reduced by 30%. So generally speaking, firepower, better missiles, cooling system, smoke. Easy peasy. Now, as always, the missiles here, as you can see, 1300 pen. This is much better than just about all the missiles on its tier, the 900 of the ADATs, the 950 of the Akatas on the Terminator 2, and in fact they have even more penetration than the Crabs, which was previously the highest pen. And generally speaking, these are basically tier 10 missiles, which if we want to be able to compare them here, Cornet, AFT-10, as you can see here, it has the highest damaging missiles out of all of them. Only 10 more than the AFT-10, but loses out in penetration. It does have extremely high DPM, but also has the second longest reload time, with the AFT-10 having the most powerful missiles overall. Its hull armor is also generally speaking quite trash. 1900 hit points means the Cornet or a T-15 will double tap you, but it is relatively okay when it comes to speed at 68 kilometers an hour. Most of the time you're going to be hitting at 70. The camo factor is nothing really special. Thankfully, you do get 46%. You're better than an AFT-10, but generally speaking, everything else in your tier that is a missile box, the Striker, the Crab, etc., will have better camo than you do. And the gun impression is actually pretty good at a -10 and a +20, which is all lovely stuff. See here, 9700 DPM. And overall speaking, the utility of the vehicle: 470 meters free range on the move, 540 while stopped. With the full retrofits allows you to go for the full improved telescopic lenses, augmented optics. You could put on thermal sights if you wanted to, paint and control unit. Generally speaking, the usual ones here: fire extinguisher, first aid cabinet, surplus parts crates. You also get the stealth, which does give you a plus camo factor of 30%, but it doesn't give you the ability to nope out of a situation. So at long range, or with a bunch of bushes, using stealth will probably save your ass, but don't use it if the enemy know you're there, because they're going to shoot you anyway. Apart from that, like I said, you do get an 8 rack launcher, so I guess for emergencies or otherwise, using the thermal barracks can be helpful, but other than that, you want to take a full load, which is about 5 rounds worth. Commander wise, as usual with AFEs, there's only going to be 3. There's going to be Erin, which gives you the max amount of survivability, I guess, and camo factor, but will give you the worst firepower. There is also the choice of, where is he? Of using Rashid, which will give you the best missile control, around 38% there, with pretty good camo factor while when shooting, improved by 17%, better foliage camo as well, but doesn't really help with anything else. So if you just want to spam missiles at people, or you're in PvE or Glops, Rashid might be the way to go. And then lastly, there's the choice of Sabrina, which gives you a little best of both worlds: camo factor, firepower, lovely stuff. Aside from that, crew-wise, I'd probably recommend acceleration, off-road speed, and probably overall accuracy while moving. May or not be helpful. You also have a loader slash gunner as well. I am kind of skeptical about the rate of fire. 2.5% doesn't really seem to be enough. So, to be honest, it looks like module damage and secured ammunition might simply just be the best ones to go here. Now, as you can see here, this literally has 0 armor. However, the boxes are only component damage, so if people are firing at you from the side, you might be able to just get away with poking at the top if the enemy can't hit you, but literally 0 armor. 88mm at best. Can this thing pen itself with its own thermos? Weird. Okay. Anyway, so when it comes to MBTs of the same tier, given I would actually like to show the complete discrepancy in firepower between the missile Gavins missiles here. I know, me looking at the armor viewer, incredible, isn't it? So tier 9. So I'd like to show you the difference between the stock missiles and the upgraded missiles, okay? This is with the stock missiles, 950 pan. You have roughly a 50-50 of going through the chance of an Abrams. With the upgraded missiles, literally green everywhere. This thing, when it fires at you, is, for all intents and purposes, really fucking scary. Generally speaking, it's the Abrams series, which are usually going to be the benchmark versus missile protection. The XM1A3, let's see if this is doable as well. There we go. XM1A3, Hellfire. So as you can see here, literally 0 chance of going through with the Hellfire missiles, but with the 1300 pen you have a 50-50 of going through, which is very nice indeed. And you also have quite a few green spots on the tank as well, so you do have your options. And then lastly, another missile vehicle to go through is probably going to be the Challenger. Now I'm not sure if this will work with the Challenger, considering the Challenger has ERA plated literally everywhere, but we can try. 13 Hellfire, there you go. So no chance of going through. Oh boy, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. There you go. This thing quite literally has a ridiculous amount of firepower. So I have 2 games set up as per usual. So let's take a look and see how many people we can literally fucking delete. So as per usual, this is a game where the M113 of course is going to reach out and touch somebody, and it's going to touch them really hard. I mean, to be honest, that's the whole purpose of taking a Hellfire. I don't know what to call it. The Gavin box, the box Gavin, triple box Gavin, or the Hellfire. Anyway, as per usual, I'm Platoon here with my very good friend Tank Sniper, who is pretty much a regular at this point. And the camouflage with this is relatively okay. With Erin's full stats, you should be able to get this to around 42-44% while moving around the 50s when stopped. And of course, using stealth will raise that by 30%. But there is the fact that this is a very unsurvivable vehicle. And if you get spotted or somebody shoots at you, it's going to hurt you anyway. So you do have to take that into consideration. Now, considering this is a tier 10 map, I have a couple of things I could do. I could stay over there and snipe, I could stay over there and snipe, or I could actually use this thing's ridiculous firepower to my advantage, and I could just go straight for the island and see if I could delete somebody. Now, this thing's missiles usually do around 900 damage, and I have 800, and I have 8 of them. 8 times 9 is of course 70 something. So I do have around 7,000 damage worth of missiles here. So I believe there is a victim spotted. Now, one of the worst things about going near a Hellfire is the fact that unlike a lot of vehicles in the same tier, and you can actually reload the missiles individually as well, rather than fall like the Strikers and other... Actually no, it's not really fall like the Strikers, is it? Anyway, you know what I mean. So, roughly a 4 to 5 second reload on those missiles means that if you can fire 3 of them, 15-second reload, that's okay. Now, I'm just... on my stream, I was waiting for these guys to show up. I was like, oh, just move back, Merc. One of these Mercs is going to make an absolutely terrible mistake. And right now, I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, there he is. Hi, Merc! APS. And unfortunately, he starts moving back at this point, and, well, goodbye, sweet prince. Oh, if you're getting shot by the side by a missile, I don't think the best thing for you to do is to back up into the open there, my dude. So yeah, you can see there the improved missile control unit. Basically gives you a constant stream of missiles with a very little delay. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. There are of course going to be some more enemy tanks, I mean victims running around, and there's a Thunderbolt who's going to regret his life choices very fast because I'm in a fucking Thunderbolt. Bye bye! Oh hey, there's an Armada as well. Boop. And there's 8,100 damage done already. I tell you what, it's absolutely beautiful seeing one of these things shoot people, isn't it? Okay, well that's 3 people completely deleted, touched, molested, and then raped and thrown into the jail cell. Who next? I don't know who's next. I don't think they do either. Anyway, the reloading will take a pain. 40 seconds is pretty friggin' terrible, and this isn't one of those cases where, to be honest, I probably should have used the stealth, but the inability to know how the situation is terrible. So anyway, there's going to be a T-15 over there, and I'm going to shoot him as well. Hey, how's it going? And having fucked up, I did make sure to be able to delete this guy. There you go, T-15's down, and that's all she wrote for the Hellfire. So, I mean, even then, it's still 9,000 damage, and 4 people get dead. So, you know what, I'll take it. So, as usual, let's have a look at those post-game stats. Well, a nice little game here. Turns out I was killed by a 99A2, and not Leclerc as I thought. But 3,750 damage done to the Merc, 2,800 to the Armada, 1,500 to the Thunderbolt, and 875 to the T-15. And I also spotted the Leclerc as well, which is always nice and good. Second highest damage done in the game there, T4 had an absolutely wonderful time with Tank Sniper getting just under half, which is actually speaking pretty good for a TTB. Otherwise, the total potential damage done for the game would have been 11,000. This was the misses on the APS, a miss on the Thunderbolt, and the ERA hits to the T-15. ERA can still be a bit of a pain blocking the Hellfire's missiles. So yeah, no damage bounce, but then again I wouldn't really expect any to. In fact, I would like to have a look at that T-15's armor model. Let's see. Just firing at it from a slight angle, so around this angle, I believe. There we go. So basically that very thin strip of ERA there, and also done from a angle. Yeah, so I could have actually penetrated it, but probably would have died anyway, considering the position I was in was a bit too far forward. I did my best to protect Tank Sniper and basically gave up my life for him, as I would do, since sometimes I am indeed the second reincarnation of Jesus Christ. But anyway, that little thin strip there on T-15's a bit of a pain in the ass. Let's have a look at another game. Anyway, this is going to be a slightly different game. Pretty heavy tier 10 match here. North spawn on Port Storm. Never a particularly good place to be for TDs, especially relatively slow ones like an M113. Usually the first place I go to is the hill, as it produces usually the best sight lanes to be able to fire down on people who are moving to the prime spot at B0 for spot-in, and also the other part of the port as well, and for anybody stupid enough to be visible down there. Now, there are usually a couple of things wrong with being here. The usually an MBT or two likes to rush up here and start immediately firing down. I mean, it's not without its risk, like they can be shot and flanked, but when it comes to a team spread like the one I've got, you can see I'm already basically moving out at this point. If I'm the only one here, I'm not really going to deal with a tier 10 MBT. Even if I have a ridiculous amount of firepower that the M113 does, most tier 10s usually have 130 plus guns. If it's a T4, he has a very quick rate of fire, so he can basically delete me almost as fast as I can delete him, and that's not really good engagement for me. So I do feel a little bit weird when it comes into this match. This isn't a place I enjoy being on this match, on this map, to be honest. It's very exposed, it's very open, and I do kind of wander around for a bit. But it's okay. There is quite a bit of back and forth movement. T-15 Armada over there. I kind of wonder if I can hit him or not. Still, 300 damage is okay, but I'd only really take that 300 damage if I could continuously do it. 8 times 300 is still 2600 damage, which is most of the hit points of a T-15. So if I can make that trade, I will, but who's going to sit there in a rock like that for how many seconds it takes to empty the rack? So, boxing aside, I feel like this is an okay position if the enemy does move up on the hill. But I think I do get a bit distracted there. Bunch of missiles, hamper targeting. Couple of hits. I think I hit him a few times. Maybe could have hit him some more. Quite a few bounces there. The soft kill APS did redirect some of my missiles. But, okay. I think I did at least around 1500. Maybe a little bit more to that Armada, so that's okay. When it comes to a tier 10 game like this, I wouldn't really expect even a tier 9 TD with massive firepower like the M113 to have an absolutely monstrous game. At best, you're going to be looking around 3000 plus damage, simply because the amount of soft kill APS, armor targets, composite armor, moving around all the time, faster movement pace is going to screw up your game. And especially on a map like Port Storm, it's not really going to be great either. So a couple of seconds to go. I want to see if I can blast through this X123's front plate. Come on. There we go. You see, even with 1300 pen, the X123 can still be a pretty difficult tank to get through. So it's about 4 missiles for 2 hits. That's not terrible, I guess. And now it looks like I have to make a bit of a decision here. Hit on the Leclerc. No, bounce. Other Leclerc, maybe? Maybe... No, I don't think it's going to work. That Leclerc probably isn't going to back out to kill the other one. He's on pretty good amount of hit points, and I'm probably better off backing off at this point. It's still 3200, which... another missile hit. Then again, I think when it comes to an attack like this, around 4000 hit points is probably your goal. It is twice your damage in hit points, and basically says you've pulled your weight. So it's about 5 to 6 missile hits, which it can be a problem to do those, but it's fine. So anyway, nice little bit of depression here. Getting down into hold down spots with the Hellfire can be a bit difficult considering its rather boxy-like appearance, but the fact that the missiles are raised above the turret slightly like this does mean that you will have an easier time doing so. Let's see if I can stack this Armada. No. Reload. I do feel like taking Gun Breach. I mean, a more PvE oriented tank would probably just have the telescopic lenses and the paint, and would instead swap the augmented optics or the thermal camera for a Gun Breach for the 10-11% reload bonus you get, because that would chop your reload time down around 4 or 5 seconds, and it would at the least be pretty damn helpful when it comes to reloading these single shots. Triple shots would probably be reloaded around 15 seconds, which for 3 hits, I think that's pretty good. And for now, there's a Leclerc moving up, and I'm not very happy about this Leclerc because, well, you're going to see what I mean in a second. Now, here's the problem with this thing's missiles. Even then, the gun depression can fucking suck quite a bit, and at close range, this is not a good tank. And I imagine you can probably see what will happen there. Yeah, that's all she wrote for the Hellfire, and that's going to be it for that game. So it looks like I did end up hitting that Armada, and this is probably one of the more average games. How things are going to go in a Hellfire. Getting bull rushed by MBTs is always a problem, and eventually when it does come to hitting MBTs at an angle, it's going to hurt like, well, it's going to hurt like hell. Even the Clerks with generally pretty shitty hull armor and an angle which you're going to be firing at them with, don't really think you're going to pan. But anyway, 6,200 is a pretty nice game overall. 2 kills. Actually, sorry, 1 kill on the XM1A3, 2 hits T14, pretty much 2 hits all around except for the Clerk and the T15 over there. Almost the highest damage done on the team by about 700 less, which is still pretty nice. And overall potential damage done would have been 20,000, but APS bounces, it happens. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun to delete people in a Hellfire. It's, I mean, I've played it in PV, I've played it in Glops, and it's actually pretty fun. And it has trash for armor. It's really vulnerable at close range because, well, the missiles are either going to miss or they're going to basically corkscrew it into a composite piece of armor or array. So I don't really think it matters that much. Did you get it? Yeah. Is it fun? Yeah. There you go. That's most I can say about it. And I guess that's going to be the end of the video. This is fuck knows how many minutes long at this point. We are at approaching the 20-minute mark. That's good. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. I hope you enjoyed the M113, and next is going to be the Griffin, and then probably the TTB, and then I'm going to work on redoing the M1A1, the T80U, and I believe, oh god, what was it? There was a third tank I wanted to review as well, but I can't remember. Anyway, that's it. So, like and subscribe, everybody. I do this content every week, and that's going to be it for now. See you all later.